The sun had barely broken over the Oxnard horizon when Thursday's training camp session turned into the kind of morning every NFL coach dreads. What began as a routine day of preparation quickly spiraled into a whirlwind of injury scares and contract distractions, the type of headlines that sports talk shows love to run with. But inside the Dallas Cowboys facility, there's a different story unfolding, one of grit, patience, and an unwavering belief that this team is built to overcome. It started with the absence of Jaden Blue, the rookie sensation who has been stealing the show all summer. Blue has been one of the most electric stories of camp, consistently flashing breakaway speed, sharp vision, and surprising toughness for a young back. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked like a player who could step into meaningful snaps this season. That's why seeing his spot empty on the practice field caused an immediate ripple of concern among fans and reporters alike. The official word from the team? A minor hamstring issue, the kind of injury that demands caution but isn't expected to linger. In August, a tweak like this isn't unusual. But when it happens to a rookie who's been generating this much buzz, the spotlight gets brighter and speculation starts to swirl. Some pundits were quick to question whether Blue's workload in camp had been too intense, while others warned about how hamstring problems can nag throughout a season. Inside the Cowboys building, though, the reaction was far calmer. Protect the player now to keep him explosive later. Then came the news that Jake Ferguson, Dak Prescott's emerging security blanket at tight end, would also miss the day's work. Ferguson has been in top form this offseason, carving out space as a reliable chain mover and a red zone weapon. His chemistry with Dak has been obvious. You can see it in the quick slants, the perfectly timed seam routes, and the way Prescott trusts him in tight coverage. A sore back kept Ferguson out, and while the medical staff labeled it precautionary, it was enough to add another layer of unease to the morning. And as if missing two offensive contributors wasn't enough, there was Micah Parsons, standing on the sideline in a bucket hat and team hoodie, taking mental reps instead of terrorizing quarterbacks. Parsons' absence wasn't about injury. It was about business. His ongoing contract negotiations have been one of the most closely watched storylines in the league, with Cowboys fans anxious for a long-term deal to lock in the face of their defense for years to come. Some outside voices have tried to spin this as a distraction, pointing to the dangers of lingering negotiations with a superstar in his prime. But the reality is that Parsons has remained engaged, attending meetings, staying close to teammates, and making it clear that he's still locked in to the season ahead. The Cowboys front office has a track record of slow-playing negotiations with core players, sometimes to the frustration of fans, but rarely at the expense of the team's long-term vision. In the space of a single morning, Dallas went from a picture-perfect camp to a round of tough questions. Can Blue bounce back quickly enough to keep his momentum? Will Ferguson's back be a lingering issue? And will the Parsons deal be wrapped up before Week 1 kicks off? For Cowboys Nation, these aren't just questions, they're emotional checkpoints in a season where expectations are sky high. But here's the truth seasoned fans know well. Championship teams aren't made in calm seas. The Cowboys are facing their first wave of adversity, and how they navigate it will reveal a lot about the backbone of this roster. The fact that Dak Prescott hasn't flinched, that head coach Brian Schottenheimer has kept the energy steady, and that the locker room hasn't fractured says plenty about where this team's mindset is right now. So, Cowboys Nation, be honest. Do you see these early bumps as a sign of trouble, or just the kind of battle scars a true contender earns before the real fight begins? Would you rather see the team push through and risk aggravation, or play it safe and trust the depth chart? The conversation is wide open, and the season's first defining moments may already be taking shape.
If there's one thing the NFL never fails to deliver, it's the unexpected. Injuries, holdouts, and sudden lineup changes aren't just obstacles, they're reality checks. For the Dallas Cowboys, this week's string of absences has done more than create headlines. It set the stage for a revealing examination of their depth chart, their coaching adaptability, and their resilience as a unit. Let's start with the most talked about name in camp, Jaden Blue. His hamstring tweak might keep him out for a few practices, but it's also opening the door for others to show what they can do in live reps. Without Blue, running backs Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn have seen their workload spike, and it's impossible not to notice the coaching staff watching them closely. Vaughn, in particular, has shown flashes of his trademark quickness, darting through tight lanes with the kind of shiftiness that can frustrate even the most disciplined defenses. But make no mistake, no one on this roster replicates Blue's combination of speed and vision. The challenge now is for the Cowboys to adjust without losing the momentum his big plays have created in camp. Then, there's Jake Ferguson, sidelined with that sore back. On paper, missing a few August practices might not seem like a big deal, but Ferguson's absence shifts the offensive rhythm. Tight ends Peyton Hendershot and rookie Brevin Spanford have stepped in for extra reps. And while both bring intriguing skill sets, neither has yet shown Ferguson's knack for creating separation in the middle of the field. That's where Ferguson has quietly become essential. He's not just a safety valve for Dak Prescott, he's a matchup problem for linebackers and safeties who underestimate him. The hope is that his back responds quickly, because losing that chemistry in the early weeks would be a blow to the offense's efficiency. And looming over it all is Micah Parsons' contract situation. While Parsons continues to show up, stay engaged, and support his teammates, the shadow of his future deal is impossible to ignore. Parsons isn't just another Pro Bowler, he's a defensive game wrecker, the kind of player opponents scheme entire game plans around. Every day the deal remains unsigned, the media will speculate. But inside the locker room, the feeling is different. Parsons' presence, even in a hoodie instead of a helmet, is a reminder that leadership isn't just about sacks and tackles. It's about showing younger players how to be locked in even when the spotlight is blinding. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer's handling of this week has been telling. Instead of scrambling or overcompensating, he's kept the message simple: next man up. It's a cliche, sure, but it's also the truest reflection of NFL reality. Every team talks about depth until it's tested, and the Cowboys are being tested right now. These reps without key players are giving backups and fringe roster guys a golden opportunity to prove they belong. And if Dallas has championship ambitions, they'll need more than their stars to carry them through a 17-game grind. The offense has leaned on CeeDee Lamb to steady the passing game in Ferguson's absence, and Lamb has responded with his usual dominance, torching corners and making contested catches look routine. On defense, without Micah Parsons taking live reps, guys like Sam Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence have been tasked with turning up the heat in pass rush drills. The competitive fire hasn't dimmed. If anything, it's intensified. Still, questions linger. Can the Cowboys' depth sustain them if these absences stretch deeper into camp? Will the offense maintain its rhythm if Ferguson isn't at full speed by week 1? And perhaps the biggest of them all, will the front office lock up Parsons before the season begins, sending a clear message that Dallas is all in for 2025? The beauty and the frustration of training camp is that we don't get those answers right away. What we do get are glimpses. A backup running back breaking a 40-yard run, a reserve pass rusher beating a starter off the line, a young tight end catching everything thrown his way. These are the snapshots that tell you whether a team is built to last or simply built for show. Cowboys Nation, here's your challenge. Look at this week not as a setback, but as a proving ground. Depth isn't just about having bodies, it's about having players ready to step into the moment and make it theirs. So, tell me, do you believe the Cowboys' depth is championship ready? Or do these injuries expose cracks that could show up when the games start to count?
Training camp is where champions are forged, and the 2025 Dallas Cowboys are finding out just how much grit they have. The last 2 weeks have been a crash course in adaptability. A hamstring tweak for Jaden Blue, a sore back for Jake Ferguson, and Micah Parsons' contract talks still lingering in the background. Yet here's the thing. Instead of seeing cracks, we're seeing a team learning to bend without breaking. Let's start with Jaden Blue. Before the minor injury, his stock was rising fast. faster than anyone in the media predicted. This isn't just another rookie making a few flashy plays. This is a running back who looks like he belongs in a starting role. His vision, burst, and ability to change direction have turned routine runs into highlight material. And here's the kicker. His absence right now may actually make the Cowboys stronger. How? Because every rep he's missing is a rep someone else is taking. And those extra touches for Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn could pay off when the season hits its grind. Imagine a three-headed backfield where each guy can step in without a drop-off. That's not just insurance, that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare. Then there's Jake Ferguson. If there's a heartbeat in this passing attack outside of CeeDee Lamb, it's Ferguson. His chemistry with Dak Prescott is as natural as it gets. The kind of trust that comes from hundreds of hours of timing routes, film study, and reps under pressure. Without him on the field this week, we've seen Hendershot and Spanford get their shot. And while neither has matched Ferguson's route precision yet, the competition is pushing everyone to sharpen up. Ferguson's return will slot him right back into the TE1 role, but the reps his backups are getting could quietly turn this into the deepest tight end group in the NFC East. Of course, we can't talk about the future without addressing Micah Parsons. Every time Parsons steps onto the field, or even the sideline, you feel the energy shift. He's that rare player whose presence alone can tilt a game before the ball is snapped. The front office knows it, the fans know it, and you can bet opposing coaches know it too. His contract isn't just about locking up a superstar. It's about setting the tone for the franchise's identity over the next 5 years. Pay him, and you send a message that Dallas is committed to keeping its defensive engine intact. Drag it out, and the narrative becomes one of hesitation, something no championship contender wants hanging over them in September. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer has made it clear, distractions won't derail this team. Whether it's a star on the sideline or a rookie missing drills, the focus remains on preparation. Watching this group at camp, you see a mix of urgency and patience. Urgency to compete for every rep, patience to trust that the work being done now will pay off later. That's the kind of balance championship teams find early. There's also a psychological edge building here. When a team overcomes small obstacles in August, they build the confidence to handle bigger ones in December and January. Blues recovery, Ferguson's return, Parsons' contract. These storylines could have been sources of doubt. Instead, they've become rallying points. Every next man up moment is reinforcing the idea that this roster is more than just its top stars. And for the fans, this is the fun part. We're watching a team that knows its window is open right now. CeeDee Lamb is in his prime. Dak Prescott has the experience and weapons to deliver. The offensive line, when healthy, is among the best in football. And the defense, anchored by Parsons, Deron Bland, and a disruptive front, has the tools to smother anyone in the league. The question is no longer, can the Cowboys compete? It's, will the Cowboys capitalize? That answer will depend on whether depth turns into production, whether stars stay healthy, and whether the front office sends a clear message by securing Parsons long-term. Cowboys Nation, the stage is set, the pieces are in place, and if early signs mean anything, this is a group ready to fight for every inch. So I'll leave it to you. Are you confident that Dallas has the depth, the leadership, and the resolve to turn this camp into the foundation for a Super Bowl run? Or do you think these bumps are a warning sign that the road ahead won't be as smooth as we hope? Your voice matters. Let's hear it.